And welcome to today's, hello everyone, and welcome to today's VC Task Force Gary's Picks event for investors and startups. My name is Joel Rosenberg, Director of Business Development and Strategy for VC Task Force. VC Task Force is an organization where the venture community comes together to address critical issues, provide workshops and other events for the benefit of the venture and entrepreneurial communities. VC Task Force provides access to an extensive ecosystem of VCs, corporate venture, and also angel investors. You may ask questions at any time during the event, and time permitting, they will be answered live after today's interview. It is my pleasure to welcome Gary's Picks host, Gary Fowler. Gary is CEO and co-founder of GSD Venture Studios, an award-winning growth stage AI venture studio. Gary is also co-founder of the award-winning AI startup Yva.ai, as well as the investment firm DY Investments. Today, Gary will be interviewing special guests, Timothy Kotin and Winifred Kotin, co-founders of Superfluid Labs. Timothy is an international math and science whiz kid from Guyana, a trained electrical engineer and computer scientist from Harvard and the University of Cambridge. He is passionate about accelerating global economic progress through the power of data and AI. Winifred is passionate about expanding opportunities with data and technology. With over 16 years of experience in building and developing digital products and market expansion for two of the largest growing banks in Africa. Superfluid Labs provides a consumer analytics platform to accelerate trust for commerce and intelligent customer decisions for enterprises looking to rapidly scale growth in emerging markets, starting in Africa. The company is currently integrating the platform into one of Africa's leading telcos in Rwanda, with over 8 million subscribers for smartphone financing, with plans to add an additional 3 contracts to reach 70 million subscribers in 2022. Take it away, Gary.
That's great. Thanks, Joel. It's great to be here. And I'd like to thank the entire VC Task Force team for making Gary's Picks possible. My name is Gary Fowler, and as I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur investor, love artificial intelligence for quantum. That's why this is going to be especially interesting conversation today. I've written 164 articles in less than 2 years on AI and quantum, not because I'm the smartest guy in the world by far, because I just love it. And I've been speaking about it around the world because artificial intelligence is critical. We have 49 zettabytes of data around us today. If we took CDs or DVDs, that would go 35 times between the Earth and the Moon. We are in a state of infobesity, and tools that help us make better decisions and make decisions for us are coming forward today. And those are AI, machine learning, deep learning. So with that, it is great to have Timothy and Winifred here today. So I got a question, Timothy. First of all, we forgot that you went to MIT too. How in the world did you go to Harvard and MIT at the same time? How did that work out?
Yeah, thanks for having us, Gary. Great starting question. So actually, there's a secret that is only known between MIT and Harvard students, which is that if you're admitted to any of the universities, you can actually cross-register and take classes at either university. So I had a lot of friends at MIT, and I took classes at both places. So that was fantastic. And as you know, they are just one T stop from each other.
Yeah, but you got the same degree at both places.
Yeah.
Well, how did that work? So did you go in and say, listen, I got a class, give me double credit? Does that work like that?
It's actually funny. And my MIT friends, so my primary institution was with Harvard, and my MIT friends would make fun of me or disagree with this. But it was a class that was so difficult that a lot of my friends actually ran away to take the MIT equivalent. And it was by this old professor in physics. And
wait a minute. So MIT was easier than Harvard?
Yes.
Okay, there's a secret. There's one we haven't heard before.
Yes, indeed.
And so you went down, you got that done. Okay, then what happened? All of a sudden you had a revelation who said, I need to go to Cambridge because I want to make it a little harder, or what happened, or easier? How did you get your master's of philosophy and engineering? What happened there?
Yes, it's actually an interesting question. So we'll keep returning to this theme. I've always been very passionate about international development. And actually, after Harvard, I worked in international development consulting for a bit. And I was quite interested in graduate school in a program that was at the intersection of technology and development. And Cambridge had a very fantastic program, which was called Engineering for Sustainable Development. And this is back in 2012. So I was fascinated by that. And that's why I crossed over the pond to the other Cambridge.
That's fantastic. Winifred, we didn't forget about you. So where is Valley View University?
It's in Accra, Ghana.
And what is Ghana like? I mean, how is it in Accra? Is it like, I know Silicon Valley, I've traveled, lived in Russia. Well, what's it like? Is it warm this time of year? Is it cold? How is it? How's the educational system? And I know there's a lot of AI stuff happening because I hear about it all the time. It's an incredible environment. What's it like?
Accra is actually very interesting. Ghana is at a very fast growing pace at the moment and heavily digitizing. So we just launched the Ghana card, which is going to hold a lot of valuable data about all the population, and is going to be a very instrumental in access to several services. So it's actually really an exciting time to be building technologies for the continent, and also especially for Ghana, because the various governments are realizing the power of technology and taking advantage of upcoming new trends to accelerate development and especially reduce poverty, which is little more prevalent in this part of the continent. On education, I think we've seen a lot of explosion in various universities, and especially in the learning of technologies and taking advantage of applying technologies into solving actual problems beyond just academia. So it's a very fantastic time actually to be in Ghana, or to be focusing on what more can be done using technology and data for the continent.
No, I mean, it's incredible. Most people don't realize there are 1.3 billion people in Africa. And if you look at countries, I mean, just Nigeria's got 206 million people. We're talking about incredible environments, Ghana, Zambia, Kenya. I don't want to leave people out because but upwards of 50 countries making a dent in the universe. And from all the way from Egypt down to the bottom, it's an incredible journey. So AI, I hear AI. When I hear about Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, I heard about artificial intelligence, fintech. What's happening? Why is there so much interest? I mean, you're an incredible company, Superfluid Labs, and how is it? Why is it growing so quickly? And, is it because, not just because of the economy, but because you've got incredible talent there too?
I think I'd like to go for this. So one of the things about starting last or not starting early is you get opportunity to learn from those who have completed the process. So with Africa, and especially in Ghana as well, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Kenya, and all of these fantastic countries you mentioned, we are rapidly developing and growing. So learning from what works for existing economies, like in America, in China, in a lot of European countries, we've seen that a lot of both state and the private sector are taking advantage of AI to accelerate and scale very fast, and to be able to provide solutions and services that would be instrumental in the economic transformation. So I think that is one of the places where we see a lot of talk within the continent. A lot of people are always talking about, so what is artificial intelligence? What can we do with artificial intelligence? And how can it bridge the gap and quickly accelerate the economies?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And, as I had said earlier, I had the honor of addressing the United Nations last week as technology is a tool for peace. I mean, think about the challenges we have in front of us. Global warming, the average temperatures could be up 9 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of this century. By 2050, we're going to have to double the food supply to feed everybody on the planet. We can't increase the number of livestock because 26% of the pollution's caused by that. we've got these incredible burgeoning economies, populations are growing, and services need to be given. At the same time, within the last 3 years, we've had to really democratize opportunities. Part of it is because of COVID, because of the challenges with COVID. And as we started to go through the digital transformation, lives changed. And we touch base. Here we are. I'm in Palm Beach today. I'll be in Silicon Valley on Saturday. June's in Silicon Valley. Joel's in Silicon Valley. You know, Frankfurt, Ghana. I mean, we're all over the place. Germany, Ghana, we're all over. But that's what we need to do. We need to figure out how to band together to make a dent in the universe, to make this world a better place. You know, population will go from 8.1 billion to 13 billion by the end of this century. But if you forecast out 250 years, and if we don't change things, nothing good's going to happen, right? We better figure out how to work together and to be able to help ourselves. I know, you know, Timothy and I think I mentioned it too. My grandmother's from Africa. And I remember growing up, she was speaking Arabic and Greek to me. And I would talk to my friends in Greek and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, what are you saying? And I thought, I talked to my mom and it worked with my mom. I thought, wow, this must be, and I stopped. But I remember she would speak to me in multiple languages. And that's part of the world too. It's understanding and accepting those opportunities. So let's go back to Superfluid. I know, you know, you've got incredible backgrounds, both of you, incredible. So tell us what kind of dent in the universe Superfluid's going to do, and where do you see yourself in 3 years? Timothy?
Excellent, Gary. So Superfluid Labs is providing a consumer analytics platform to accelerate commerce. Now, what this means is that in the rest of the world, a lot of business transactions and all business interactions actually are based on the foundation of trust. But in markets that are not yet sufficiently digitized, sufficiently connected, that trust element is missing or is limited. And as a result, financial business transactions, sales, trade, commerce is not happening to the scale and extent that is really possible. And so Superfluid has built a platform that allows businesses to make intelligent decisions on consumers by providing that missing trust element. So in most African countries, according to the World Bank, only 11% of the population in sub-Saharan Africa is covered by any kind of credit reference bureau. But a lot of commerce is happening. People are transacting through mobile money, mobile payments, which I cannot even speak about all day. And this footprint is missing. It's completely invisible. And as a result, if you're a Netflix, you're a Google, and you're trying to expand as you need to do across the world and in Africa, how do you make the decisions around which locations to prioritize, which opportunities, which products and services might resonate? And this is the core problem that Superfluid is solving. And we are projecting processing over 100 million consumer decision points in the next 5 years.
No, I love it. You know, and I mean, we got to look at going global too. I mean, both of you realize that, you know, we've got in South America, Latin America, we've got 647 million people, and they are also moving forward in terms of tying each one of the countries together, using the tools out there to be able to transact business. I mean, it's a phenomenal opportunity. But you said one thing that really caught my attention. It's all about trust today because we don't know who to trust anymore. We need technologies like AI and blockchain to be able to work together to make better decisions, because it's with all these nefarious people out there, you don't know who you're dealing with anymore. It's trust is critically important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Gary, I had the pleasure of listening to some of your previous conversations with other panelists. And one of the points you often make is about how we are becoming data obese. I think we call it data obesity, right?
Info obesity. I mean, we're in a state that actually came out of Toffler's book, Future Shock. I remember reading it many years ago, but it's caught my attention there, and it's appropriate today because we are inundated with data.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the other ways of thinking about Superfluid is that imagine if all the data points you're creating every day is actually working in your favor on behalf of you. It's allowing you to access better education, better services, healthcare, retirement, energy. What a beautiful world that would be. And you're in control over that.
Well, you know, one of the things that I've written about recently is about the next level. In fact, I have Morpheus on my phone, the next level of artificial intelligence, which is really unsupervised AI being able to make decisions. Think about it like a guardian angel that is guarding your data, guarding all the different data inputs and outputs to be able to help you make those decisions. And think about our own world. Timothy, I mean, think about it. Both of you are geniuses, right? I'm honored to be in your presence. I can feel the light coming off you. It's incredible. But think about this.
You're flattering us now, Gary.
It's incredible. Because as smart as we all are, we are all in this state of infobesity, which you heard me talk about. Each one of us has about 300,000 items in your personal cloud. The entire web in 96 was 257,000 websites. Winifred, you have more in your personal cloud, the entire web in 1996. And the challenge, Timothy, is it's growing. It's doubling every year. In 5 years, you're going to have 10 million items. Think about this, as smart as you are, right? Including all of us here. How many times in the last 3 weeks has somebody said, Winifred, I sent you a email or message. Did you get it? Where did you send it? I sent it to your email. Which one? And then I sent it to your Yahoo. Well, I don't use that much anymore, but let me check. I can't find it. Will you send it again? It's incredible. And because of the amount of data, we have to have these tools. And that's just one example across our lives. And what you're doing is incredible, because having that information to help you make better decisions, faster decision, more effective decisions is critically important. And there are going to be two levels of society. And sorry, I'm on a tangent, but
No, this is beautiful. Yeah, attention to the choir.
There's two levels of society. There are going to be people that understand data and people that don't. My thing is, in order to make this world a better place and bring us all together, we better figure out ways that we can all understand it and use it in ways to help each other and not to hurt each other.
That is absolutely true. In fact, Gary, if I may add one more thing, especially in Africa, like Winifred talked about this concept of leapfrogging and being able to see what is working and skip certain stages. One of the phenomena that is not often talked about enough is that most people, for billions of people, the only computer they ever own in their life is a smartphone. And with this smartphone, there's a different set of applications, a different set of use cases, a different set of data sets that are being left. And it's almost a greenfield because not a lot of products and services have been built with this mobile-centric, IoT-centric world in mind. And this would need to be created. So the future is extremely exciting. And as you've said, it's all going to be about AI and unsupervised learning, because it's absolutely not possible to write enough traditional software to handle all these different use cases. And
impossible. And people don't get it. Impossible. Then, yeah. I mean, think of the challenge we have. We got all this with global warming, as we talked about. Think about this. In order to feed those 13 billion people, we better be a lot more efficient on the farms in Africa in order to make sure the yields are higher from the table to the store, right? To the retailer. We got to make sure that we've got the right kind of products there. We've got to make sure that we're doing, we're looking at, gene splitting and genomics and ways to increase the quality of the crops if we want to make this world a better place. And, it's funny. I recently heard Elon Musk say that it's not about when we're going to run out of, or if we're going to run out of fossil fuels. It's just about when. And I know you were at Harvard. It gets real cold in the wintertime up around Cambridge, doesn't it?
Very much so.
I've been up there in winter too. It's real cold. So we better step on the gas now, not to be facetious, but really we got to do that. And what you're doing with data and intelligence to create an advantage is incredible. And that's the future. What about expansion plans globally? Winifred, what are you going to do globally? What do you want to do with the company in terms of attracting other markets?
Thanks, Gary. That's a very interesting question. So for us, our thesis on the need to make intelligent consumer decisions to facilitate commerce, to facilitate access to needs and wants of the population as large is very valid, irrespective of the market. And one of the good things COVID happened brought about is that a lot of small businesses, mom and pop shops that are digitizing now, a lot of big players have been forced to go retail down market. I'll give you an instance. So Coca-Cola in Ghana now offers deliveries to your home, which didn't exist prior to COVID. And we see the need to use intelligent consumer decisions across all stages of growth within a company and within B2C facing enterprises. And so Africa's use case just the best point of start for us because there's a lot of untapped opportunity here, but we see ourselves accelerating the consumer decision making based on artificial intelligence to promote trust and to allow scaling for a lot of enterprises, a lot of businesses, especially those who are coming online for the first time. And this is happening across the globe, in US, in Europe, in so many other places. So I think for us, we're actually really excited, and we've now proven the need, validated the markets, have a lot of good use cases, and we believe this can be extended to several places, especially in the US.
Yeah, no, I hear you 100%, and it's time. I'm really proud of what you're doing. Proud of seeing for the months that we've known each other, it's incredible accomplishments you've been able to do. And at the same time, Silicon Valley, my friend June Riley's here and sponsoring us today with the VCs of Silicon Valley. They want to hear it because sometimes they don't hear where they look, but they're not looking in the right places for incredible companies, and they're all over, right? It's not, as I said many times, intelligence, an opportunity, intelligence is evenly distributed around the world, but opportunities aren't. We need to go out and look for those opportunities, just like yours. So what about, as you're growing your company up, so are you moving, where's the next region that you're going to go to? You're in Africa. What are the plans in terms of expansion? Timothy.
Yeah, so we're actually looking at the US, interestingly, because like Winifred mentioned, the world is digital. There are just as much as there are businesses in Africa, there are a lot of businesses based out of the US that are trying to expand globally. In fact, just last week, Google announced a $1 billion dedicated fund just for Africa because they are looking at the next wave of growth. So we actually see US businesses, US customers, and some of the tech giants based out of Silicon Valley and other places as customers of Superfluid Labs, for whom we will be enabling them to expand their markets reach, both in Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, but even in the US as well, where the technology actually makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, this is the time. This is it's kind of like going fishing in the right lake. They just stocked the pond. It's time to go fishing. And you better do it fast and get your bait on the hook, It's a good time. So in terms of growth, I know your revenue, you're growing your revenue, you're moving forward with the company. Is your development done in Ghana or is your development done in Germany?
We actually have a distributed team. So a little bit of our development is done in Germany, in Kenya, and also in Ghana. We're quite fortunate that we're quite early on the distributed workforce trend before COVID hit. So we actually were very well prepared for that when that disrupted a lot of traditional work practices.
No, that's great. Super, super. Wow. So it sounds like things are growing and moving in the right direction. What are your plans over the next year, Winifred? What's going to happen over the next year for you?
We are really excited, especially for GSD Labs, the accelerator we are participating in, because we see it as very pivotal in the next phase of our journey, which is to really double down on the great work we are doing and then scaling. And we are looking to close our round and then look forward to unifying a lot more data points around consumers to improve the decision points and also allow consumers to bring along with them additional exponential data they are generating on a daily basis. And what would make us most happy is for a business that is looking to serve someone for the first time, not going blindly, because you would be able to access a rich set of data and recommendations based on the profile that is presented to make an informed decision, to innovate, to scale, and of course, to be very profitable. So we are actually really excited and looking forward to the next phase of our journey.
No, it's great. And, I want to thank you too for working with GSD. I mean, one of the things that I've wanted to do around the world is really equalize opportunities. And Silicon Valley is a port that we use, but we're in 38 countries today. And it's really great to have you as part of GSD. And as always, we need to get stuff done, because when it's all said and done, it's about execution. Joel,
Absolutely.
over to you.
Fantastic experience so far.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thanks for the feedback. Joel?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a wonderful, wonderful discussion today. Very timely, of course. Timothy and Winifred, thank you very much for being our special guest today. Gary, as always, thank you for hosting. Really interesting, insightful questions, and very helpful for the audience, very timely for the audience. We'll look forward to seeing you all at our next Gary's Picks event in 2 weeks on October 27th, same time. And until then, everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and
Stay happy.
Stay happy. Absolutely.
And,
Attitude is everything.
Everybody. Thanks to June, Joel, and the entire VC Task Force team for making this possible. This is my fourth one of these today. I gotta tell you, I feel like I'm gonna roll.
It doesn't look that way.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm energized about AI, and I'm really proud to be here in VC Task Force. So thank you very much, Winifred and Timothy, for making it possible today and coming on board. Thank you.
And thanks for the audience as well. Thank you for your attention. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep.
Thanks
Bye,
for
everybody.
hosting us. Bye.
Bye.